Hello and welcome. This week we're going to be making a rustic apple pie. For this recipe, which comes from a Ruby Tando cookbook, you'll need butter, salt, sugar, white flour, and water. You'll need a quarter cup of cold water, 200 grams of flour, unsifted, and about a stick of butter sliced into cubes. Cool but not fridge cold. Drop your butter into the flour and using your hands mix to a coarse consistency. Don't be afraid to get dirty. It should look like wet sand. Next, you'll add your tablespoon of salt and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Mix that in and then pour in the cold water. Using a knife, incorporate the water into the dough. If it's too dry, you can add more. Next, wrap it in plastic or whatever and leave it in the fridge for half an hour to cool. At this point, you're going to want to cut your fruits. I decided to leave the peels of my apples on, and I used a combination of green apples, red apples, and I threw a pear in just for good measure. For the next part of the filling, you're going to need half a lemon juiced. I like to do this by hand, but you can do whatever you'd like. Next, add a half teaspoon of nutmeg, a half teaspoon of allspice, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. You can mix up these spices, but that's what I've found works the best. Mix together and pour over your apples. Using a rolling pin, roll out your dough until you're happy with it, flouring the surface occasionally so it doesn't stick. This might be a little thick, but whatever suits your fancy. Spread it out in your ungreased pie pan, trim the edges, and fill with fruit. Then it bakes at 400 degrees for 20 minutes, and then lowers to 325 for a further 20 minutes. And that's all there is to it. One apple pie made from scratch. As easy as, well, pie.